You've seen the photos, the charming bridges, the beautiful skyline, and the affordable homes. But here's what no one tells you before moving to Pittsburgh. It's not the hills or the cold that get you. It's the daily surprises that locals just take for granted. So before you pack those boxes and say, I'm moving to Pittsburgh, let's talk about the 6 reasons that you might not survive living here. Hi there, I'm Diane McConaghy, your Pittsburgh real estate expert and relocation partner. If you are watching this, chances are you're thinking about making a move to Pittsburgh. My goal today is simple: to help you not just move here, but truly thrive here. Because let me tell you, Pittsburgh is an incredible city. It's rich with history, full of character, and every neighborhood has its own heartbeat. But here's the thing. If you come here without understanding the local truths, you might find yourself feeling frustrated, confused, or even wondering if you've made the right move. That's why in this video, I'm going to share what really living in Pittsburgh feels like, the parts people love and the parts that they wish that someone had warned them about. I'll show you exactly how locals make the city work beautifully for them. Before we dive into those truths, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a quick thumbs up if you find it helpful. It really helps more people who are thinking about moving to Pittsburgh find this kind of insider information. Now, grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and stick with me until the end, because if you're serious about making Pittsburgh home, this will save you a lot of surprises. Let's get started. What most people don't realize is how hilly it really is. The city actually has more than 700 public staircases, and many of them are official city streets. That's right, in neighborhoods like the South Side Slopes and Beachview, people literally have staircases instead of driveways. Some homes can only be reached by walking up or down long flights of concrete steps. Now picture this in January. You're carrying groceries, the snow is falling, maybe a little ice on the ground, and that's your everyday route home. If you're moving from somewhere like flat like Florida or Texas, it's going to feel like a whole new workout. But here's the flip side. Those same hills give you views that are absolutely stunning. From Mount Washington to Fineview, you'll find lookout spots that take your breath away every single time. So when you're out house hunting, ask your agent one simple question: what's the slope situation? Check if the access is through steps, a narrow alley, or a steep one-lane road. Because trust me, your knees, your tires, and your car brakes will all thank you later. And if you plan ahead for the right terrain, you'll see why locals wouldn't trade these hills for anything. Are you thinking about relocating to the greater Pittsburgh area? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers, the best hospitals, and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part is that this guide is 100% free. That's right, you heard me right, 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. Hope that helps. All right, reason number 2, and this one definitely deserves its own category. Let's talk about driving in Pittsburgh. There's a famous move here called the Pittsburgh Left. If you've never heard of it, here's how it works. When the light turns green, instead of waiting, the driver turning left, the one facing you, goes first. Now technically, it's not part of a traffic law, but it's been part of Pittsburgh's driving culture for generations. It started decades ago as an act of courtesy, especially at intersections without dedicated turn signals. Basically, one car turning left would sneak through before the oncoming traffic started moving. It's one of those small-town gestures that somehow became a full-blown tradition. Now, pair that with roads that twist through valleys, over rivers, and into tunnels, and you've got what might be one of the most unique driving experiences in the country. Pittsburgh actually has more than 400 bridges, the most of any other city in the United States. And between the tunnels, the steep hills, and all those rivers, your GPS is going to struggle at first. Locals joke that if you haven't missed an exit because of a tunnel, you're not a real Pittsburgher yet. So here's my advice. Learn to laugh about it. Give yourself extra time to get places, especially in your first few months here. Try alternate routes and practice using landmarks, not just navigation apps, because sometimes your phone will send you right into a river if you're not paying attention. Eventually, you'll master the maze, and one day, without even realizing it, you'll pull a Pittsburgh Left yourself. That's when you'll know that you've officially become a local. Now let's talk about something that you can't always see, but it can make a big difference once you live here. Pittsburgh's bones are old. The city has some of the most beautiful historic neighborhoods in the country, but that charm comes with aging infrastructure underneath. For example, some of the city's water service lines are more than 100 years old, and Pittsburgh actually went through a lead pipe replacement crisis a few years ago. Since then, the Pittsburgh Water Authority has replaced tens of thousands of those old lines, and they're still working towards replacing the remaining ones by 2027. So it's getting better, but it's something to be aware of if you're buying or renting an older home. And then there's the sewer system. Pittsburgh still uses what's called a combined sewer system, which means that rainwater and wastewater flow through the same pipes. During heavy storms, that system can overflow into the rivers, and yes, it can sometimes cause backups or damp basements in older houses. Now don't panic, locals live with this every day and do just fine. But when you're looking at a property, ask your agent or inspector a few key questions. Has the home's water line been updated? Does it have a sump pump? Is the basement waterproofed? And most importantly, does your homeowner's insurance include coverage for water backup? A little due diligence up front will save you a lot of stress later. And once you know what to expect, Pittsburgh's infrastructure quirks become just another part of its story, not a deal breaker. All right, you've heard about the hills, the wild Pittsburgh Left, and those 100-year-old water lines. Still think you're ready to call yourself a Pittsburgher? Because the next 3 reasons aren't about geography, they're about fit. How your rhythm, your patience, and your mindset collide with the city's personality. And if you're serious about making the move, grab my free Pittsburgh Relocation guide down in the description. It breaks down the top neighborhoods, schools, cost of living, all the stuff that locals wish they'd known their first year here. Go ahead and download it while you're watching. It'll make what I'm about to share hit even harder. If you're still here, you've already been tougher than most newcomers. So let's test that toughness. Here's one of the biggest surprises for people moving to Pittsburgh. See, Pittsburgh isn't one big uniform city. It's actually made up of 90 neighborhoods, and each one has its own personality, vibe, and rhythm. Living in Lawrenceville, you'll feel the energy of boutiques and craft breweries. Squirrel Hill, gentle toned, full of parks and places to wander. Mount Washington, that panoramic postcard view you see in every travel piece. And then you slide out to suburbs near the city like Ross Township, Robinson, or Moon Township, where things move at a slower, more family-oriented pace. And here's the truth. If you land in the wrong fit, you'll feel it right away. Maybe you imagined tree-lined evenings and a driveway, but ended up on a steep rowhouse street with a bus stop out front and no place to park overnight. But when you find the neighborhood that matches your lifestyle, it's magic. That's when Pittsburgh starts to feel like home. So before you commit, take your time. Visit neighborhoods in person on weekends. Time your commute. Drop into a coffee shop and talk to someone who already lives there. Because community fit isn't just about lifestyle, it's about how you live every single day. And when you get that right, Pittsburgh becomes more than just a city to you that you moved to. It becomes the place where you belong. Now let's talk about Pittsburgh real estate. This one always surprises newcomers. You'll often hear people say that Pittsburgh is affordable, and compared to major East Coast cities like New York or Washington, D.C., that's absolutely true. As of 2025, the median home price in the Pittsburgh metro area sits around $250,000, which is well below the national average. But here's the part that many folks don't talk about. Most of Pittsburgh's housing stock is old. In fact, nearly half of the homes here were built before 1940, according to the U.S. Census. That means that beautiful brick home with the front porch and the city view might also come with original wiring, an aging roof, and a foundation that's been sitting on a hillside for a century. And because of our steep terrain, drainage can be a big deal. Older homes on slopes can develop water issues in basements or yards if they're not properly graded or waterproofed. So while homes look like a bargain up front, you could be looking at $20,000, $30,000, or even $50,000 in repairs once you start updating the systems, fixing masonry, or replacing retaining walls. Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy here, not at all. If you're ready to invest a little time and respect those quirks, you can own a true piece of Pittsburgh history with character that you won't find in any new build. My advice? Hire a strong local inspector. You want someone who really understands Pittsburgh's geology, the slopes, the soil, the storm drain patterns, because those are what make or break an older home here. When you go in prepared, the charm far outweighs the challenges. You'll end up with something timeless, and that's part of what makes owning a home in Pittsburgh so rewarding. Everyone talks about the cold winters in Pittsburgh, but very few people mention the gray. We're talking about more than 200 cloudy or partly cloudy days every year, according to the National Weather Service. That means that far more than half the year you might not see much sunshine, and for newcomers from sunny states like Arizona, California, or Florida, that can be a real adjustment. It's not just the temperature, it's the shorter days, the early sunsets, and even the way that Pittsburgh's hills can block sunlight on both sides of the day, especially in the winter. So while it's not unbearably cold here, it can definitely feel dim and cozy for long stretches. Some people notice it affects their mood or energy levels. This is what we call the Pittsburgh gray. But locals, they figured it out. You'll see people investing in light therapy lamps, joining gyms, planning quick weekend getaways, or just embracing that cozy slow-down vibe. And Pittsburgh makes it easy to enjoy winter once you lean into it. There are holiday markets downtown, ice skating at PPG Place, and plenty of coffee shops and breweries that make those gray days feel special. So if you're thinking of moving here, expect the clouds, but don't fear them. If you plan ways to stay active, keep social, and bring a little extra light into your home, you'll handle Pittsburgh winters like a pro. And who knows, you might even start to love those misty mornings over the rivers. Most of us do. So, can you survive living in Pittsburgh? Absolutely, if you understand these 6 local truths that really define life here. Number 1, those steep staircases aren't just workouts, they're actual city streets. They'll test your legs, but they'll also give you some of the best skyline views that you'll ever see. Number 2, driving here means learning a few local tricks. Tunnels, bridges, and yes, those famous Pittsburgh lefts. It's chaotic at first, but you'll get used to it faster than you think. Number 3, the infrastructure is old. Do your homework before buying. Ask about lead line replacements, drainage, and basement waterproofing. It's just part of living in a city with deep history. Number 4, neighborhood fit is everything. Pittsburgh has 90 distinct neighborhoods, each with its own pace, personality, and price point. Take your time exploring before you commit. Number 5, older homes can be absolute treasures, but the charm often comes with repairs, roofs, foundation, wiring, slopes that tell their own stories. Plan for extra maintenance. Number 6, those gray skies are real. Pittsburgh averages around 200 cloudy days a year, but the city shines in other ways. You'll experience vibrant festivals, cozy cafes, and a strong sense of community spirit that more than make up for the weather. When you go in prepared, Pittsburgh isn't a challenge, it's an adventure. You just have to know what you're signing up for and how to make it work for you. And once you do, you'll see why so many of us can't imagine living anywhere else other than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh isn't for everyone, but if you understand it, plan for it, and come in with the right mindset, you won't just survive here, you'll love it here. And if you're seriously thinking about making the move, don't do it blind. Download my free Pittsburgh Relocation Guide. You'll find the link right down below. It's full of cost breakdowns, school insights, and insider neighborhood notes straight from locals who know the city inside and out. Now, if you're already looking ahead, wondering what's changing, where the growth is happening, and which neighborhoods are about to look completely different, you need to watch this next. Click on the video right here. 6 huge changes coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2026. It'll show you exactly how the city's transforming and where the next big opportunities are if you're planning a move or an investment. And if you're ready to make Pittsburgh home, or you just need local guidance on neighborhoods, schools, or your next property, reach out to me directly. You can call, text, or email me anytime. All of my contact information is right there in the description. I'm Diane McConaghy, and remember, it's not about surviving Pittsburgh, it's about learning how Pittsburgh lives. See you in the next video.